How are you preparing for your children? Obviously, they range in ages from 24 to 16, so they're all older now.
Right.
But how are you preparing them to be thrust into the spotlight, really even more now than they were previously? Now social media, they can't escape.
Some of my younger kids, half of them are not shy. They're very, very, oh wow, they're friendly, they're gregarious. They want to have that voice.
I know you guys all have each other right now, but you guys are gonna have your own lives.
Our mom talks often about the real story, how it all started. It wasn't how everyone thinks it was.
They want to share their perspective. A few of them, like Nariah, Jeremiah, Noah, they want it out there. They want to be out there sharing their truth. They don't want to be famous. I've never wanted to be famous, but they know, we all know, it's time for us to take our narrative back and to share the true story. And all my kids, they could talk and share their truth better than I can. You know, I'd prefer to stay in hiding.
You're infamous. Normal life is no longer. There's been death threats.
People want me dead?
You and the baby.
How did you determine what you wanted to reveal in the docuseries and the biopic? And did the kids say anything was off limits for them?
No, I was choosing to be 100% transparent. So there's nothing I don't disclose.
And the kids were,
they were 100% transparent. I told them just share. Wow. Just share your perspective. My younger ones, I have been very successful at protecting them. And there's many misconceptions, one of which that we did a reality show. I've never done a reality show. I've said actually, I've declined a reality show. And there were opportunities since they were very little, but because I'm aware of child development, I have a bachelor's degree in child and adolescent development, and I'm well aware that it's potentially detrimental to a child's developmental process to film them on an ongoing basis, and because of that, I have said no from day one. We have never done a reality show. This is the first documentary series, and there is a differentiation between an ongoing reality show and a documentary that's broken into 6 parts, which is what this is.
The topic of my biological father has come up.
He's a donor, so we can't meet him because he's anonymous.
Why did you sit down this thing?
I was the sperm donor.
You've been busy for quite some time. For the past 24 years, you've been busy raising 14 kids.
Euphemistically speaking,
Yes, but now you've got 2 projects that are coming out on Lifetime. You've got a biopic and a docuseries, so congratulations on those 2 projects. I didn't think we would be hearing your story from you in this sort of way, but why was it finally time to share your story on your terms?
This is the time, because my kids are older. My octuplets are 16, and they've been urging me, encouraging me for years to share, and they want to share their truth. They want to share their perspective.
Really?
So yes, they've wanted to, and I love hiding. I've been hiding my whole life in like college, and I'm very shy and introverted, very socially awkward, and have a lot of social anxiety. So I just was very comfortable, but that's not going to change anything. It's not going to share my truth. I have to get my truth out. Lifetime is the safest platform for women. They've been the best platform for women to share their truth. I've always wanted to be a mom. I wanted a big family. When I set my mind to achieving a goal, you know, I achieved that goal. I think I may have overachieved with being a mom, though. A little too much there.
What misconceptions about you, about the family, were the children hoping to clarify in these projects?
There's too many misconceptions to even address at this point. I do go into detail in the docuseries, and they do as well. They all talk. They talk for the first time, really. My oldest have never spoken on camera before. So number one, that I wanted to have 8 on purpose to get famous. That's like the number 1 greatest misconception out there.
What are you doing?
I'm working to feed my family.
What are these?
We have an offer for $1 million. You're the star.
I have to sell stories to take care of my kids.
Why was the dramatization like a great way for folks to understand the comprehensive view of your story?
A dramatization is an ideal way for the people in the public to really just watch from beginning to end the whole truth. This is very accurate. I'm surprised. I was so grateful to have the opportunity to work with the writers. The dramatization is going to be, you know, seen by the public, and they're going to see what happened. They're going to find out the truth, that there's so many other factors that were involved.
How did you deal with the hate that you received?
Right, in hiding. I'm good at hiding. I dealt with that just developing my already palpable anxieties, considerably exacerbated, obviously. And I had thousands of death threats, and going into just TV. My focus, my number 1 goal was to keep everyone safe and to protect them. but it was like a double-edged sword, you know, because I was desperate to make money to provide for them, but I didn't want to be this, I didn't want to shamefully embrace this, you know, caricature. That was the antithesis of my true character. So this Octomom caricature, it just took on a life of its own.
How did you support yourself and your 14 children?
I did whatever I needed to do.
Which includes?
Well, I was just embracing, shamefully, any gig that came along that would pay enough to provide for my family. It went from bad to worse, as you already know, and you know, I sacrificed my integrity.
Regrets?
Too many times to count. I do have regrets, but there's nothing, at that point in time, I did the only thing I had the opportunity to do. I didn't, that wasn't my idea. That was like the darkest of the dark. That was probably, I couldn't have portrayed someone more opposite of who I really am. That's not something that was congruent to who I am as a person.
She had been getting these offers to do adult films and finally said yes.
It was this bind where fame itself had the greatest potential to get some income for her kids.
When someone comes up to you at school and asks you, is your mom a stripper? You don't know what to say.
How did you get your children through those moments? Because kids talk at school.
Right, right.
I mean, you must have been feeling guilt, shame, but you did what you had to do.
Right.
But how did you get your children through it?
Right, toxic shame I felt. But I had to keep going. I had to go, I had to do what I had to do we were going homeless. We were about to go homeless, I lost the house. So I needed enough money to move, to rent somewhere else, or we would have been living in my van. My little ones I always kept them safe and protected. They never really experienced all of the, you know, helter-skelter, all of the toxic hate and all that from the world all around. So yeah, it took a toll. I'm sure they experienced trauma. A couple of my older ones, they ended up with some PTSD.
I'm sure.
As a ramification.
I mean, that's a lot.
I've been waiting a very, very long time to tell my true story, and I believe the world is ready to hear it.
What does your normal day-to-day life look like today? What are you doing? What's your career?
Oh boy, my career is being a mom, and people are very curious as to how I support them. I talk about details of which jobs. I worked as a counselor, so
are you still counseling?
I stopped in 2018 because of Aiden's needs, and then I became his sole provider. I was always his sole provider, but then I became an in-home supportive service provider for my son. He's total care, so I had to leave my job for him.
Are you doing any work from home outside of caring for Aiden?
There's great opportunities right now that I have, but from 13, when I escaped the false life, till 18, I went back to my old profession and I started working as a counselor and then became a substance abuse counselor.
Right.
And I first worked with parolee women who had dual diagnoses, and I loved it. I loved it. They were incarcerated women. Wow. So it was very rewarding.
And now your career is focusing on Aiden.
Just focusing on my disabled son, yes.
Yes. How old is he now?
19, but in his head he is 18 months.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh. But how lucky is he to have you?
I love him so much. The kids all love him.
Of course.
They're learning to be very kind, humble, loving people also because of Aiden.
Right.
You know, to put someone else who's less fortunate above themselves.
Yeah.
So all of my kids are very, very, very kind.
Yes.
You know, great, you know, humble people.
My mom did everything in her power to protect her kids.
The main reason why we're doing all this is just get the truth out there.
This is our story, the real one.
Well, you have seemingly done, I haven't met all of your children, but Elijah, you are just a very respectful young man. You seemingly have done well for yourself, Natalie.
They're all very, very well adjusted. They're well adjusted, they're healthy, I think they're happy.
And that's all any parent can ask for, right?
Definitely, 100%.
Thank you for your time today. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you so much.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Something you're thinking about in particular?
Yeah, that it's been a long time to share my story.